Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to my Day 1 or Day 0 PC port review of Persona 5 Strikers. This is available early to some people who have pre-ordered the Deluxe Edition, I believe. This is a collaboration between Atlus, developer Omega Force, publisher Koei, and publisher Sega. So it's an interesting mix. This is the Persona 5 spin-off, so it's Persona 5, all the characters, all the themes, all the music, but mixed in with Dynasty Warriors style action gameplay. And it's quite an interesting game, I gotta say. I need some more time to play it to give you the full impressions, but so far I'm kind of having fun. But there are some issues. Now the port, on the other hand, is actually good. It's not great. It's probably the best port Koei's ever had any hand in. And I'm assuming that Sega did most of the work for it. But there are some little growing pains here and there. So, game settings. The scrolling kind of sucks when you scroll down with the mouse wheel, and if you move your mouse at all, it locks back to your cursor. So if I even move it up like a millimeter, you know, I gotta, yeah. And you can't really grab it well from over here, you have to click. Yeah, pain in the ass, so just use the arrow keys. At least there's full mouse control in the menu. It's not great, but you know, there's full control, which is nice. And there are a decent amount of options to customize here. Sensitivity for gamepad and mouse, camera auto movement. You might want to turn that off for use it with the keyboard and mouse. I'm going to actually turn that off now. Unfortunately, there's a lot of please restart the game to apply settings. It's a little annoying. Graphics quality, you can do some presets or you can do full custom. We're going to turn off the blur settings. So this game runs pretty well, I gotta say. You see the MSI Afterburner stats up there under D3, D11. That's the actual frame rate. Rock solid 60. Unfortunately, you can't go beyond 60 frames per second, which is a little annoying. Anti-aliasing is the only thing of note here that I'd say is lacking. You can see a lot of jagged edges even in the menu screens right here. See where the black border and the white border near the OK is? It looks a little jaggy. The character models, you know, emit that even more, so it's not great. This is at 1440p. I imagine if you're on a big screen TV a little far away, you might not see it as well, but, you know, then again, most of you playing on a PC are probably playing on a monitor. You can choose your monitor position, which is nice. A lot of games default to the wrong monitor, so at least you can correct that yourself. FPS locked at 60, unfortunately. But it does run very, very smooth. At least on a 1070 Ti, 6-core, 12-thread, i7 8700K, so that's fine. Unlocked resolution, so it does go fairly high. One would assume to 4K. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of resolution options, at least at full screen. There is a windowed and borderless windowed mode, however, so that's nice. VSync on or off. Key configuration, fully rebindable. And I gotta say, again, more credit to the port. Fully rebindable keys, and the default controls are nice. They're very nice. It's actually very playable on a mouse and keyboard, believe it or not. I'd still recommend a pad, but it is very, very well playable on mouse and keyboard. It's similar to, if you guys remember the reboot of DMC Devil May Cry, which had a very, very good port. I played actually the whole game, almost the whole game on mouse and keyboard, it was fine. And there's a similar experience to here. There's a lot more jumping in combat, so, and the auto-lock can get a little annoying, so I would, again, bear that in mind. Audio output, it should say stereo and surround, but it's only giving me on and off. And right now it's set to off, but you can hear it. Japanese voices, that's included by default, which is nice. And if you're worried about this file size, the game is only 23.8 gigabytes. And that's with the extra bonus content DLC. Separate volume sliders as well. So far looking to be not a bloated port. You know, not great, you know, 60 FPS lock, anti-aliasing not great, but otherwise, that's just me being a little picky. It's great. There's no 30 FPS lock, there's no 1080p lock, there's no weird issues with the, no bloated file sizes. There's no Steam Cloud, though. That is annoying. There is Denuvo and an agreement to a third-party EULA, which is a little annoying. Kinda sucks to see that. Let's get into the game. So I've been messing around for about close to 2 hours. It only says an hour and 15 minutes because I've been reloading previous saves and messing around. So let's go here. We're not too far in, so don't worry about spoilers. Most of these spoilers have already been revealed in the trailers, you know, new characters and stuff like that. Okay, so this is one of the parts of the game where you have to gather clues. So There's mouse control, which is nice. The movement is fine. Moving around while moving the mouse can be a little bit, it's a little weird, but, you know, you'll get used to it. It's especially if you have high sensitivity settings, I would recommend knocking those down a little bit. Again, I recommend playing with the pad in the combat sections, but they do work, which is nice. And the defaults, once again, are very nice. So, the game is, I'm assuming, whatever engine Persona 5 was running on. And the main draw of this game right here is the presentation. It's also its main hindrance. We'll get into that more in the actual, like, full first impressions if I can come out with it. But basically, you have a lot of cutscenes. A lot of cutscenes. You know, nice cutscenes. A lot of voice acting. It's, you know, it's nice. Presentation's amazing. But for an action game like, you know, a Musou game, you're expecting to get into the action a little bit more. Right now, I've been watching more cutscenes than actually playing the game. And that's common in Persona 5, but that was an RPG. That's where you could actually make some choices, limited as they were. But you were also getting to know the characters there. And here, it's like, well, I already know all the characters. I don't need all this preamble. And that's something I will mention right now. If you are not a fan of Musou games, I wouldn't recommend, or, you know, if you haven't really played a whole lot of them, I wouldn't really start with this one. Even if you are a fan, I wouldn't check this one out right away. If you're a fan of Persona, if you've been having an interest in Musou games, like, oh, man, those look kind of fun, I would say this is a good place to start for you. Similar to, you know, Hyrule Warriors. Like, oh yeah, you know, do you like Zelda? Well, maybe you'll like this. But if you're a Musou fan, or even not so much of one, you're going to have a hard time soldiering through all these cutscenes, getting to the real meat of the game. And by then, you know, 2 hours might not be able to get a refund. I would definitely try it if you're a fan of Persona, though, because you're going to like the presentation, you're going to like all the fan service. But if you're a fan of the Musou games, I mean, it is a fun Musou game, but you're going to have to soldier through a lot. A lot. But right now, as you can see, rock solid 60 FPS. The CPU usage is not terrible. Memory usage is up there too. GPU usage is actually fine. Again, 1070 Ti. We're going to load a... Also, you can access most of the graphics options and everything in the menus right here, so that's nice. We're going to be skipping through some of the cutscenes to avoid spoilers, and also I want to just show you the combat, how easy it controls. So skip. And yeah, I'm going to talk about this more in the video. Yeah, double jump. You have the alt to run fast. It says B to attack. That's actually not true. I think that's an alternate key that is also usable on left mouse button. And mouse is actually fully rebindable as well, so you can not only rebind keyboard controls, but you can also rebind mouse separately, so you can assign secondary functions, which is how you should do it. It's very important. And of course, because it's Persona, all the menus are stylized, which is actually nice. So right here. Yeah, here. Yeah. It's like, it's fine. It's good. It's a little bit weird to get used to, like, sometimes N is confirm, and then sometimes it's... Sorry, it's back out, or whatever. It's a little weird, but for the most part, you're going to be left-clicking and right-clicking. Right-click is your gun right here, and it's also your back, usually. And left-click is accept, and your primary attack. Let me just keep skipping through these things. The cutscenes don't look compressed horribly or anything. You know, it's not like Mortal Kombat. That game, the Mortal Kombat, what was it, 9? Just compressed the hell out of their cutscenes for the PC release. Let me just skip through these. See, 2's not working now. It just depends, and then I guess it's a combination of 2 or enter for the most part. If you want to mash your keyboard. There we go. Come on, let's go. Yeah, again, I will probably be talking about this in the first impressions video, which will probably be a quickie or something. Okay, here we go. Time for some actual, a little bit more combat. So yeah, movement controls are really great, camera controls are good. Double jumping, there's a lot of elements of Persona used in here, such as climbing, like, little points and ambushing targets from above, doing all kinds of crazy moves. I have the game currently set on hard, and it's currently a cakewalk. Boss fight actually got a little bit tricky, but it was generally no problem. You can apparently switch to different party members later on with the baton pass. Again, I haven't played too much of it, but everything seems to be working fine. There's plenty of options for the control. Port's running good. I'm actually running it off a NAS drive. I gotta say, navigating the little options, the dialogue options with the mouse is actually kind of nice. I wish they would give you like a different cursor though. It's just the default Windows one. It's a little annoying. Might change the might change run to shift instead of control, but otherwise the defaults are pretty good. So yeah, N is a little annoying because like it's you know, just jump on these higher points for like, you know, platforming and engaging enemies in like with special moves. All right, let's come on, let's go, let's go. Yeah, so for an action game, I don't agree with what they're doing here. I know they have to like, you know, get through the tutorials. There's a lot of things that you gotta. Yeah, it's a little annoying. So it'll take you a second to, you know, maybe rebind some controls to what you like. It's not going to be perfect, but controller is totally fine. Everything works fine there. And it's nice that they included it anyway. A lot of new music, a lot of flair, a lot of great presentation. Unfortunately, it might be a little too much for some people. I'd have to do the finishing thing. But yeah, that's it for me. Quick video, sorry about that. It's just not much for me to say about the PC port. You know, everyone's got different settings, so it's not like I can cover everything. But I will say that this is a good one, worth 50 bucks. Well, if I have my first impressions up, I'll let you know about that. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out.